everybody. Welcome back to Around The Emirates podcast with Sara Mousa, where I speak to guests from across UAE about topics you want to hear about. Today, I have the honor and privilege of welcoming Simon Aynsley, who is Chief Sales and Commercial Officer of Gulftainer, a regional provider of customized supply chain and logistics solutions. Welcome to the show, Simon.
Hi, Sarah. How are you?
I am phenomenal, and I'm so excited to hear all about this really cool sector. Please tell me your story and how you got involved here.
Thanks, Sarah. Gulftainer, it is a long and illustrious story. Gulftainer has been around in the Emirates for nearly 50 years now, domiciled here in Sharjah. First started in 1976. We operate two container terminals here in Sharjah and one on the other side of the country on the Indian Ocean in Khor Fakkan. We also have a number of other container terminals in Saudi, which is located in Jubail, just north of Dammam. We also operate a terminal in Qasr in Iraq. And Gulftainer was also privileged a number of years ago to be the first Middle Eastern container operator to be granted an operating license in the US. So we're super excited about that operation, which is located in Canaveral in Florida. Together with Gulftainer, we're not just a ports and terminals company, we're a fully integrated end-to-end supply chain solution. And what that basically means, Sarah, is that we can offer our customers a full solution from end to end. We also operate a subsidiary company known as Momentum Logistics, which provides us with all of our customs clearance, warehousing, storage, distribution, and importantly, transport movement around the Emirate. But also we do a lot of cross-border transport as well too, into Saudi, into Iraq, into Jordan, Kuwait, Qatar, across to Bahrain as well too. So it's not just about loading and unloading of ships, but we offer the full land transport solution as well too for our customers.
That is so cool. So how did you get started in this industry, and what would you say has kind of been your biggest challenge that you've overcome in getting to where you are today?
I think, Sarah, I mean, I fell into this industry probably 40 years ago, and I've loved it since day one. It's a global business. It's 24/7. It's dynamic. It never stops. And I think for me, probably the biggest challenge for today, as for all of us in global supply chain around the world, is how can I say? It's the uncertainty, if you like, of the geopolitical events that are happening around the world at the moment. They're testing us all. I mean, we went through COVID a few years ago, and of course, for many organisations, I think senior management, they understood that they had a supply chain and logistics team within their organisation, but they never really understood what they did until things didn't start appearing on shelves and supermarket inventories. And suddenly they became the focus of business. So I think for many of us now, whereby we're being challenged with these various different geopolitical events and events more generally, be it political, right around the world at the moment, it means that global supply chain teams have to focus very, very carefully on finding those solutions to ensure that you and I, when we go shopping, product and inventory is available for us to consume.
It is amazing how we don't realize just how important these types of industries are in our day-to-day stuff. Like, obviously we love, I personally love online shopping, for example, but that doesn't happen if companies like Gulftainer don't exist and not only operate in the region, but also globally. And I'm just curious, as somebody who is so passionate and avid about this industry, what would you say is something that really drives you and has kept driving you for the last few decades that you've been involved here?
I think the simple answer to that is finding the solution, finding that right solution. There's an old anecdote within shipping that says, "No shipping, no shopping," which basically translates that if we can't find those global supply chain solutions, those end-to-end solutions, then you and your internet shopping, or me going personally to a shopping centre, means that those products just simply aren't available. You know, the company, we try to offer our customers a very niche product. We're not necessarily trying to be the biggest. What we are trying to do is to provide our customers with value for money. And we try to do that through the various different integrated supply chain solutions that we come up with, and we try and tailor-make for each of our customers. As far as Sharjah is concerned, the terminals that we operate in Sharjah and importantly our terminal in Khor Fakkan are growing daily. There's a very bright future as far as the Emirate is concerned, and the relationship that we have with our customer base here in the Emirate, particularly Khor Fakkan. And I mentioned before about the geopolitical events that may or may not impact our business. But Khor Fakkan is located on the Indian Ocean side of the UAE in the Emirate of Sharjah. But importantly, it's located outside what we call the Straits of Hormuz, which is obviously the entrance into the Gulf. And strategically a very important location, because it means that container ships, bulk ships can discharge their cargoes in Khor Fakkan, and we can move those cargoes across the Emirate without having to bring those ships through the Straits of Hormuz into the Gulf. So it provides a great value proposition for our customers, which are, well, obviously the shipping companies, transport companies, and in turn their customers, obviously here in the Emirate.
That is so interesting. You would not know these things just by kind of like reading the news necessarily. Like to hear about kind of the ins and outs of the industry is so important, and it's something that people should it's, I think, fundamental to people's even basic education to learn these things and understand just it's part of how the world works. And that's something that I think is so underestimated. Now, I know that you had some words of wisdom that you wanted to share with the listeners today.
Oh, I think, Sarah, I mean, you asked me before about, what I've learned over the last 40 years in my career. I think, fundamentally, as I said earlier, whatever is happening in the world, whatever you read in the newspaper or whatever you're watching on television, becomes a barometer of global shipping, whether it's a geopolitical event, whether it's a political event, or just an event in itself, be it a federal election, whatever it might be. Everything that happens in the world, not just the major events like COVID, etc., having impacts on supply chain and being a barometer, if you like, for global trade, but I think all types of events that happen over the world. So, picking up a newspaper and correlating, or reading an article and correlating that to what could possibly be happening to global shipping fascinates me. And then obviously trying to then, from a Gulftainer perspective and a momentum logistics perspective, trying to find that right solution for our customers and in turn their customers, to make sure that when you go shopping, you can find the right products and services that you require. So I think for me, has been the real learning for me right throughout my career, is that things that happen around the world impact our industry, and it's then finding those right solutions to solve those problems for our customers.
It really is such an incredible domino effect, and it's been so fascinating to hear, kind of, even if it's just at a surface level, just the ins and outs of the business. I've learned so much speaking to you today, and I think that I'm really glad that I was able to speak with your team to get you on the show today, just because this is not something that you would hear about every day or on social media necessarily. And I think it's such a vital lesson to be learned, is just the ins and outs of how this industry works. And I would love to hear any kind of final piece of advice that you would have for listeners, those who are potentially looking into getting into this industry, perhaps.
Look, it's a fascinating industry. It's not banking and finance and high-powered real estate, but what it is, it's a fascinating industry. It's a global industry. It's a community where people who export products and import products and ship products and transport products, we all need each other to make sure that that vital supply chain solution is as efficient, as productive as it possibly can be. And as I said to you before, that's the thing that gets me up in the morning. That's the thing that motivates me through the day, is finding those right solutions for our customers. So thank you, Sarah, for today. I really appreciate the opportunity to speak to you.
Thank you so much, Simon. I learned so much today and I really appreciate your time. Take care.
You're welcome. Thanks, Sarah. Bye-bye.